Hello, I'm Lindsay Trofe, founder and CEO of Immersed Games. As an educator and later working on my PhD, I began to focus on empowering learning pedagogies and wanting students to be active participants in their own learning. And an area that I became particularly interested in was STEM. At the same time, only 22% of graduating high school seniors are actually proficient in science. And in middle school, there's a drop-off in STEM interest, particularly for girls and underrepresented minorities. One way we can help address this is to provide more authentic learning experiences for students where they get to actively problem solve. But how do you do that within the constraints of the classroom every single day? And that is what we're solving. With our product, Tyto Online, students get to actually do science. We use a video game to set up the problems and context so that they can. So let me explain to you how that actually works. First, we engage students. They take on the role of a scientist in our alien planet set in the future, as they create their own character that represents them. Then, we fascinate students with real science phenomena. Rather than only watching videos about cool science phenomena like the zombie ants in the Amazon rainforest, we actually bring them there. They get to go explore the ant colony, collect data, and figure out what's going on. They actually get to have the simulated direct experience with the science phenomena, rather than passively learning about it. And then, we empower students to solve problems. To learn about genetics, they are given a mission by a councilwoman to try to solve a hunger shortage. They work with a botanist to increase crop yield, using selective breeding and conducting experiments to determine the best levels of water and light. We use culturally relevant experiences designed to engage diverse students and to bust stereotypes about STEM careers and who participates in them. The need for Tyto Online is particularly relevant right now for two reasons. First, the adoption of the next generation science standards across the country now mandates this type of active learning of science. There's a paradigm shift where teachers are no longer supposed to deliver information, but have students figure it out themselves using science and engineering practices. This means that people are moving away from old forms of content delivery and textbooks into new materials, and we were designed to meet this model. Second, remote learning due to COVID has made this active learning process even more difficult. And when schools shut down due to COVID, we experienced a 25 times increase in inbound teacher signups for our product. We expect this need to continue as schools are at least partially remote into next school year. These both present large challenges for teachers, so we make it easy for teachers to implement an NGSS pedagogy even remotely. They use our dashboard to assign ready-to-go storylines and activities. We have lesson plans and guides available, and they receive rich assessment data that can be used to drive personalized learning. We also have evidence of our efficacy. We've been supported with grants from the National Science Foundation and the Institute of Education Sciences. As part of these grants, we've conducted pre-post pilot tests where we've seen around a 10% performance increase after a couple experiences with Tyto Online. And our biggest strength has actually been in supporting science and engineering skills, increasing students' performance in analyzing and interpreting data the most. And for the teachers out there, one tidbit that blew us away was that when we looked at audio transcripts, 97% of classroom discussions were actually on task. Our business model is simple. We charge $10 per student per school year for all content and materials included. Online training and support with real fast live chat to a human is included, a huge boon to educators. Now I wanted to take a moment to show you a bit more behind the curtain. We have a team of 15 based here in Buffalo, New York, and our team has specialties across education, programming, art, and design. In 2018, while still in beta, we were selected as a top pick for learning from Common Sense Education. We've also been supported with funding from the Intel Education Accelerator and the AT&T Aspire Accelerator. After a couple years of development, this was actually our first year selling into schools. We've sold over 4,200 student licenses, mainly in Washington and New York State. Right now we're focused on getting ready for fall and how we can support educators in an uncertain environment where we can be of particular help, whether they're remote, in person, or in a blended setting. And we've also just established a statewide contract with the New York State BOCES system. Before we wrap up, I wanted to take a moment to address the outcry around the country due to systemic racism and police brutality. And these are issues that students in our communities grapple with every day. As a company, we've always incorporated key strategies around diversity and inclusion into Tyto Online, but now we're exploring how we can do more. And we've looked into adding anti-racism science content into Tyto Online as well, with the first part of that content planned for fall. Please feel free to reach out to me directly with the contact information on the screen if you're interested in learning more or want to discuss a partnership. Thank you.